Hey guys, happy Friday. It is time to move on with this sign, but before we do, I've got a couple things that I kind of messed up on this thing, and I want this to be kind of an example for you guys and how sometimes you just have to kind of really remember what kind of wood material you're using. So I'm going to come around to that side of the bench and I want to show you something. Bench, yeah. As you guys know, this is a mixture of pine around the edge and redwood in here. And the way I did the layout on this, if you go back and watch the first video on this, I put vinyl down for my layout and then I carved through it. And that would have been fine, but what I didn't realize, and it'd been so long since I carved through that vinyl, especially on redwood, is that vinyl adhesive pulled some of that grain out. So if you if you look here, you see this spot here and through here, you can see there's some spots where the vinyl actually pulled part of the wood away. There's a spot here, and
Don't go so fast. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay.
And then working our way over this way, there's a really bad one here. And there's a couple in the letters, mostly on this actual board here. It's just the grain was loose enough. Now, vinyl on the pine that I use generally doesn't have this issue. What I should have done is I should have put masking tape down first, the blue painter's tape or masking tape, and then put my vinyl on top of that, because the masking tape or the blue painter's tape doesn't tend to pull that grain off the way the vinyl adhesive did. So that was my mistake. I really should have done that. Now, so what I want, the point I really want to make here, I've got 4 actual points, is this is the part of the sign, once you've got all of this work done, that you could really mess it up if you don't do several different things. Number 1 is be an inspector, is inspect everything. I mean, I go over this thing, I've gone over it probably 20 times and just I inspect everything for high spots, because I really don't want any white spots, even though that can be fixed later on. The other thing is with issues like this, like where black, before I spray it, I spray my black, the black can get into places like that, and I would be able to sand it out, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to mask off any of these deep divots so I don't have to sand quite as much off. If it gets black, that means I've got to sand off a little bit more than I really want to. So the first point is be an inspector. Second point, mask off anything that you think might be deep enough that you wouldn't be able to sand the black out. So mask that off. Third point is make sure that you carve deep enough. This is something that I see a lot of brand new carvers, is they're not carving deep enough, that once they sand off, their lines end up too skinny, or they disappear altogether if you sand too deep. So make sure you're carving deep enough. And then the fourth thing is, and this one is, it seems really kind of weird, but walk away. Just walk away from this thing, and I've done this now probably 3 or 4 times. Walk away from this. I'm going to come back around. Walk away from it at least 2 or 3 times, and then come back and look at it again with fresh eyes. Now, I don't know if this really relates to everybody, but it certainly is what I do. And I don't know that I've ever even mentioned that. We've got over 700 videos, and I don't think I've ever even mentioned that. But on something like that, I really have a lot on the line if I mess it up now. You want to just be an inspector, look at everything, but then also give yourself a chance to look at it with fresh eyes a couple times. So I walked away from this thing probably 3 or 4 times, and came back and saw something that I had missed the last time I looked. So I want it to be absolutely as good as it can be Even one of these lines here, it's funny, one of these lines here, I had to recut it because it had a couple bobbles in it I really didn't like. So I had to straighten up one of these straight lines on the edge. And so sometimes walking away and then coming back and looking at it with fresh eyes, you'll see something that you missed before. Okay, so we will come right back and we'll spray this thing and we'll get it sanded off. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just spraying the back chamfer just to make sure that that back bevel gets some spray in there. You'll notice, hopefully, that I am not spraying very heavy. Again, that's probably the biggest mistake that I see is overspraying. Especially when dealing with pine. Down in the redwood, I won't worry about it so much, but I'm still, you see how my technique is just kind of short spurts. Okay, so now I'm going to set it up, and we'll come back in just a second and we'll spray the rest of this here. Again, short, just very short bursts. Guys, don't overspray, because it doesn't matter whether you've got sanding sealer on it or not. It will bleed on you, especially on the pine. But I use the same, pretty much the same technique on the redwood as I do with the pine, as far as spraying. All right, I'm going to let that sit for about 5 minutes. Then I'm going to turn it over and we're going to spray a little bit more. All right, so now guys, you can see, looking at it from the bottom, you can see that you can see some wood through here. But make sure that you understand, you don't have to have it completely midnight jet 100% black in there. It's an optical illusion that you do, and that's where the overspraying kind of comes into play. It just doesn't, once it's sanded off, it just doesn't show up. Now, spots like this, that is clearly there's some black missing. I get it, but just, you know, just because you might see a little bit of wood in there, if you, babe, if you can zoom into this area right here. Just because I can see a little bit of wood in there doesn't mean that it's going to look that way once it's sanded off. It absolutely will not. In fact, I'll leave that alone, and then once we sand it off, you'll see what I mean. We'll look at that again. All right, so we'll be right back and we'll start sanding. Okay, so I've done the first sand. That was with my 40, I think it was a 40 or 50 grit. Now I'm going back with a finer grit. This is actually a 175 grit. So now I'll get the rest of that black off with this one. All right, guys, we got to kind of tilt it up so we can see what the reveal is as I blow it off. Let's see what happens here. Not too bad. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. Is I actually am going to sand this a little bit more. You guys notice when I started the sanding process, I was actually sanding cross grain on the end grain, forgetting that the grain is running vertical up and down on the ends. So that's when I started to kind of tilt my sander a little bit. But because of that, I'm going to use the Octo sander, which I probably would have anyway. That's my little random orbital sander. And I'm going to sand this whole thing down with a nice fine grit because I want a real nice finish on there. So we'll come right back and do that. All right, guys. All right, so I told you I'd kind of show you this area. Remember where it looked kind of light? You can't even tell, and even you guys even know, and you can't even tell that the black is any lighter in that area than it is in any of the rest of the sign. So just that's a perfect example of kind of the optical illusion of the way the black works. It just looks totally different once you get it all sanded off. So I have a 220 little pad on my little pressure control. I think this is a random orbital. I'm not really sure, but anyway, I don't use it that much. But it'll put nice finished sand, and it will kind of clean up these places where I cross grain sanded a little bit. Actually, we need to put on our hearing protection. We'll be right back, guys. Okay guys, I'm going to go ahead and finish what I did right here. I'm going to finish the whole sign off camera. We'll be right back. Alright, here we are guys. It's all sanded, ready to go, and now we got to paint these letters. So all of the outset letters are going to be painted red. So I've got my setup here. I'm going to use the one-shot fire. Is it fire engine red or fire red or something like that? Let me get my cheaters on. I definitely want to do that. I want to have some of my little latex gloves on. And so this will be the last step before we go into the finishing process. So I'm just, this one shot, it says fire red, yeah, one shot enamel. Number 102L, fire red. I think this is one of the ones that we have the...
That's the one I used on the Santa hat.
Yeah, the one used on the Santa, and I think we actually have a link to it on 241 on our supplies video. All right. You guys know how much I love this, right? Not. But fear not, I'm not going to paint this whole thing on camera. I'm just starting the process. And then really paint it mostly off camera.
You have a...
Yeah, there's a... I don't know why I've got a random one. Oh, I fixed it. Is that what you were going to say?
Yeah.
Oh, it poked back out. Like a little alfalfa sprout there. I'll try and keep that away from the black. Now this may take 2 coats. I don't know. Being as it is just bare wood, it might. And that's fine. No big deal. I'll let you know once this dries and we come back. I'll let you know whether I had to put a second coat on it or not. Did you have to put 2 coats on the Santa hat?
I did.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's probably what I'll end up doing. You can see it's soaking in right there already.
I can see your little stray bristle there too.
Alright, driving me crazy. Got it. Now I'm going to paint on my bingos. Sorry, fingers.
You've
all
said
have
that
it.
since the kids were babies. Pingos.
That's what Ryan used to call fingers. Bingos. All right, guys, this is, I'm sure, mind-numbing, boring. So I am going to complete this process. Then when we come back, I will let you know whether I had to put a second coat. But based on what I'm seeing so far, I'm thinking definitely going to put a second coat. Then when we come back, we are going to put the finish on.
Yay!
Yay. And that will be, so this is the last video of the series. I can't even remember how many this is now. You guys probably know better than I do. Anyway, so this is it. We'll be back, and these will all be red. See ya in a minute. Hi guys, it is Friday. It's time to finish this thing up. So, but before we do this, we've got one little piece of business. Our new, because we didn't do an LTS this month, our new premium member free template of the month is actually a little mountain scene that Vicki came up with, and I really like it. I've carved it a couple different ways. Let me show you the way I've done it. I've carved one inset and one outset, so that's kind of what they look like when they're carved, or the way, at least the way I do them. You might do them a different way, but anyway, I kind of like them. I'm not sure which one I like better. This one looks bigger, but actually the actual decal or template is exactly the same. It's just got a fat line around it because it's carved outset. But anyway, so January, that is the premium member template of the month that you're going to get for January. So that is out of the way. So let's finish this thing up. I put the red on there. This is actually 2 coats of the fire red, and what we're going to do is we are going to put some resin on this thing, kind of like we did on the Christmas deal. Now the way I figured this out, while I kind of get my gloves on and stuff here, the way I figured this out is I'm gonna mix up 12 ounces, 6 of one and 6 of the other. And the way I figured that out is there's a chart on the box. Number one, this is about 2 3/4 square foot, about 2.75 square feet, something like that. And it tells me that it tells me that a 4-ounce kit, which is 2 and 2, which is what I did on the Christmas, that was for 1 square foot, and for 2 square feet it takes 8. So I'm going to mix 12 ounces all together. These are 2-ounce cups, so it's 6 and 6, 3 of each. Now I'm going to mix those up, and hopefully that will do it. If I had some 6-ounce cups, I would be using those, but since I don't, I'm going to do it this way and hopefully have a pretty even mix. Hopefully I won't... Ooh, that just looks like it's going to spill. I really like the way this resin looks. I wish I need to do it more because I'm not super confident with it, although the Christmas signs came out pretty good. Let's hope that this one does too. As my wife said just before the camera went on, don't screw this up.
Oh, yeah.
And that really made me feel good. That gave me a vote of
Little
confidence
boost of confidence
there. Yeah, that's all I needed. All right, I dropped my cap if you can get that for me. All right, so if you guys remember right, it says that I need to mix these, double mix them, 2 minutes at a time. So we probably won't show that all, just for lack of time. So I'm going to put all 3 of these in here.
And I will start the clock when you're ready.
Oh, okay. And I apologize for the up front for the length of this this video. I really needed to get this thing all done because there is no video on Monday. Monday is January 1st, so there's no video on Monday. We're actually going to be out of town. And Wednesday, Wednesday's video will probably show this again once it's all cured. Wow. Awkward silence. We should have music playing in the background or something. Dramatic music.
Dun, 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 dun.
Alright. Fortunately, this one, unlike our last project with this stuff, it doesn't have holes in the middle of it.
Okay.
Go. Yes, please. Alright, so go ahead and turn the camera off and then we'll come back on in 2 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, so I just mixed this for 2 minutes. I can already feel it getting kind of warm. I'm going to pour it into another cup. And then we are going to mix for another 2 minutes.
Oh, you're messy.
That's why I got paper down. Oh, by the way, the rubber pad that I have underneath it is my old rubber pad when it leaked through the paper, I was going to throw it away, but I decided to keep it for some reason. So I swapped it out for my good one. So even if it goes through the paper, which I have several layers of paper on this one, it probably won't. But if it does, then it still won't be bad. All right, so now we got to go another 2 minutes, so we'll be right back.
You're on.
Okay. All right, so we've gone another 2 minutes on our second mix. Now we are going to pour it on there. Wish me luck. All right, I'm going to start from the center and work my way out.
You should have some sad music playing.
I'll be depressed enough if this if this doesn't work. Ooh, that was a big gob there, huh? Gosh, this doesn't seem like it's enough, but it seemed like we had that thing that last time too. I know you didn't want to get involved, but
Yeah, I'm looking and thinking
maybe you might want to help. I've got some more of these sponge things, so you can grab that one if you want to.
start moving it.
Start moving it around. Yeah, that's all we got. God, that doesn't seem like enough.
No, it's on here pretty thick.
Well,
Okay, we can't both work on the same. You need to go down there so I'm not
Yeah, we
crossing
can go
the
there, okay.
camera.
all right. Man, did I make enough?
We're going over the edge, right?
Well, yeah. I'd like to cover the front first before we go over the edge, in case I do have to make some more.
I'm thinking you might want to while I'm doing this.
Think so? The calculations should be right.
A lot of stuff should be right.
Yeah.
It doesn't always happen. It's going over the side. Is that okay?
Yeah, no, that's fine. See, there's quite a bit in here in the center. I think we're going to be okay. Can you guys sense the just abundance of confidence that we have in the way this is working out here?
All right, we're going to go over the edge here.
Yeah, no, go ahead. I may end up like speeding this part of the video up. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty thick.
All right, I'll get this top edge if you're working on that bottom edge. I did the other end. Did you do this end? Okay.
Why didn't you warn me to wear my mask?
I did. Oh, that was it. I see. Okay, that was sarcasm. I told you. But the fumes aren't that bad. Well, I don't know. They're not for
You're
me,
not,
because
you don't have a cold.
I can open up this side door.
I thought you would insist, but that's all right.
You want me to?
No.
I will. Gosh.
No, it's just more fun to blame you.
See?
No, I think we got plenty in here.
Think we're all right?
Holy moly, yeah.
We should have been good for, an extra quarter foot of coverage, but that doesn't take into account that there's grooves
Divots,
too.
yeah.
So,
Divots.
most people that do this, they're doing it on
Flat
stuff
surface.
that's just a flat surface. So that's why I always want to overshoot.
Oh, I think we got plenty. My sides are covered good.
Really not that many bubbles so
Dun,
far.
dun.
So what we're gonna do, guys, like we did last time, we're gonna let this set for like 15 minutes.
Wow.
That's-
And the green's coming out nice.
And then we'll come back with the torch and see what bubbles have arose.
Oh, missed a spot. All right, double look at it
Yeah, you gotta kind of look at it through the
from the
with the-
side. Yeah.
with the light shining on it.
Hopefully, I wasn't in the way of that whole thing there.
I don't think you were. You were kind of to the side.
Okay.
Looks pretty good, actually. You want to do a kind of a camera
Yeah.
pan
Here.
zoom thing with it? I'm just tossing it. I am pretty pleased
Oh
with
man, I
that.
forgot to push the record button.
Oh, bummer. Nah, I saw the light. Nice try. I saw the light on.
He saw the light.
Yeah, I saw the light. You're going to see stars. Pow, right in the kisser. All right. Okay, guys, we're going to let this set for a few minutes, and then I can see some bubbles coming up, and then we're going to take the torch to it. So we'll be back in a few. All right, guys, so we're just about ready to torch this thing. It's been about 15 minutes. Again, this is the product that I used on here, and it's the same one that I used on the Christmas sign. So we're going to see if we can get rid of these bubbles. They say you got to really keep this thing moving so you don't burn the actual finish. And it's not. They say it's not the heat that causes those bubbles to pop. It's the. I think they say it's a carbon dioxide. think that's a bubble, man. Ah.
There you go again.
Yeah, there was the same thing it did to me last time.
Somebody said something about you're not supposed to tip it, but...
Yeah, you're supposed to keep it upright, but that doesn't work too well on a project like this. So I think I need a better torch, actually. I've been meaning to get one. Ah, doggone it. And then some people were saying the reason it's flaming out like that is moisture within the tank itself. So I'm trying to. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and work on this a little bit more. But we're going to go ahead and bring the camera back up to me, babe. This is the last, I'm going to work on this a little bit more with the torch. I'll get it all done right, but I don't want to waste your guys' time. So this is the last video of the year. 2017 comes to an end for us. What a great year we had. Thank you to everybody for all the support, for you guys watching. I hope it was helpful for you. I hope we can keep doing what we're doing, 3 videos a week. That's our plan. We just want to say Happy New Year to everybody.
Stay safe.
And stay safe. Don't be unwise. I'll try and keep it good. So no drinking and driving out there, guys. Hope everybody has a fantastic New Year. We're going to visit some friends. So I just want to say Happy New Year to everybody, and I want to say happy birthday to my wife. Her birthday is on the 30th, on Saturday, so we're going to go celebrate with some friends.
I'll be 25 again.
Yeah, that's right. And we'll be back on Wednesday. We're going to do, on the 3rd, we're going to do a success story and then an interview with Gary Berkman, who stopped by the other day, and he and his wife and daughter stopped by, and we did a little interview with him. It was really cool. I think you guys will enjoy it. So we're going to show that on Wednesday, and then we'll just keep on moving on, and we've got some great, exciting things coming up this year. So thanks again, everybody. Happy New Year, and we'll see you on the 3rd. Bye.